Join me in the word, please. May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in your sight, the Lord our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. They just have to say, you know, the choir's going to trick us. We're not going to clap anymore. We're not done. We're going to clap. Okay. So I'm sure you all know that how you say something is just as important as what you say. For example, this coming Thursday, we're all trying to do essentially the same thing. Sit down at a table, there will be lots of food. Now imagine if I came to that turkey and you say this, you say, wow, what did you do to the turkey this year? You know something went wrong. Oh, something's not right. But using the exact same words, what if it's like this? What if it's like, wow, what did you do to the turkey this year? Well, you know, well, the turkey turned out really good. Something really went right this year. See, just how you say it makes all the difference in the world. Well, in the gospel, we have kind of that situation. Jesus heals 10 lepers of their leprosy. They go wandering off, you know. But one comes back giving thanks, and Jesus asks them 2 questions. Were there 10 who were healed? And where are the other 9? I'll give you the other one who came back. Now, how we ask that question makes kind of all the difference in the world. If he says those 2 questions this way, were not 10 made clean? Or are there 9? As if he's accusing them for not coming back to say thanks, as if they're kind of shiftless kind of people who are like, what? They get healed of leprosy and they can't even thank you? What's that all about? He could have said that. Or he could have said like this, same words. Were not 10 made clean? Where are the other 9? As if he is sorry that they haven't come back. As if he knows the true healing hasn't happened yet because they haven't come back. I think we have a really good clue as to which way Jesus asks those questions because of what he does with the man who does come back. To that one, Jesus says, get up, go on your way, for your faith has made you well. There's a difference between being healed and being made well. The returning and giving thanks is part of the being made well, in both body and soul. All 10 were healed of their leprosy. All 10 were physically healed, but the one who came back had a heart of thankfulness. And that thankfulness added to the physical healing of the disease. That thankfulness added to the healing of the heart and the soul. Jesus healed the physical illness of the man, but it's the man's faith that completed the whole healing process. Does that make any sense? I'll try this one. Find it through each thing. In confirmation class last week, boys said they're going hunting, so I'm not going to talk about that. The girls said they're going to be playing a basketball game yesterday, which they actually did, so I guess they won. But we'll just use that example. The girls said they're going to go to the basketball game Saturday here. So let's just assume everything went fine. It did. They all got up in the morning, they all got dressed, they all went to the gym, somehow got their parents drove them probably. They all changed their uniforms, they all played the other team. The game was over, they cleaned up, they either went home or they went to their friends' house. Okay. Basic Saturday morning going to the gym to play basketball with another team. Now, that's a good deal. Now imagine that one of them had a thankful heart from the minute she woke up. And she woke up and said, wow, it's a great, crisp morning. It's a wonderful morning to be alive. It's a great autumn day. And then as she is going to school, she just says, wow, my mom is taking me, or my dad is taking me to school. Wow, that's really cool that they're taking time out on their day to take me to a ball game and stay there and watch me play. I'm just really thankful about that. Then as she enters the gym, she sees our teammates. She says, wow, these are the girls that I've been playing basketball with. Yeah, I've known them since I was a baby. They're just such great girls to be hanging around with. I'm just so thankful they're my friends. Then she sees the other team come out on the court and she says, wow, isn't it cool that there's another team of girls that's made the trip here to play basketball. I just think that's really awesome. Now, you could stretch that thankfulness on and on for as long as you're going to go. She could say, well, look at the gym floor. It's made out of hardwood. I wonder who the timbermen were who cut down the trees and who made the lumber and all that. Just so thankful that we have this kind of court to play on. It's spreads out and out and out. No longer is it just a basketball game on a Saturday morning in the gym. But now, for this girl, she sees how it's connected with her family, with her friends, with her community, with her whole world, with people she doesn't even know and will never ever know in her life, where she has an attitude of thankfulness. That's where Jesus is going. To be thankful is to know that you are connected with others and that you are connected with God, and that you don't face the world all by yourself. It's exactly what the author of Deuteronomy is talking about when he's telling the people of Israel. He tells the people that they're connected to God, and so they should follow the laws and regulations that God has set up, not just because they're supposed to follow the rules and regulations, but they're supposed to do it out of the sense of being thankful. And then the writer of Deuteronomy goes ahead and lists all the things they should be thankful for. God has given them this good land to be on, and God has filled the land with pomegranates and figs and wheat and barley and grapevines and all of that. And then finally, on verse 17, the author says, now, remember to do this. Never ever say to yourself that it is your power that has created all these things. It is your might that brought the barley and wheat about, and it is your hand that has given you all the wealth. But remember the Lord your God. Be thankful. Okay? Keep the connections going. You didn't do this all by yourself. You are connected with God. Be thankful of that. This morning we had baptism of Keegan Norton over in Hollandale. And of course, anytime you have a baptism, I mean, that's an automatic Thanksgiving right there. Because a baptism means there has to be a baby. Baby means there has to be a birth. You know, all those things have to happen. You can't have a baptism without all those things. So some of us probably know a lot about biology and human development, some of us very little. But those of us, even if you know, I think the more you know about human development, the more wondrous a birth is. You know, wow, there's 2 husbands, 10 toes. This is like the most totally awesome thing I've ever seen. And it's a miracle. Every birth is a miracle. You cannot help but be celebrative and Thanksgiving-like at the birth of a baby. So you know, baptism is already time for Thanksgiving. Now I remember, because I know Charity and Steve pretty well. I've known them for as long as I've been here and known them. So they had their wedding in June, and it was really cool. It was an awesome scene. We were out in the field by one of Steve's friends. And you want to slip up some Steve's friends. We were out in the field, and it was kind of towards sundown, because that's what Charity wanted. It was kind of like sundown. And it was gorgeous. It was just absolutely gorgeous. There were the trees, and then the hills, and the valleys. You all know what it looks like. And Blue Mountains is off in the distance. And it was just an amazing sight. It was a day of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving for the gift of love that Charity and Steve have for each other. Thanksgiving of the family and friends who gathered there for that. And a Thanksgiving of this total abundance of nature that we were surrounded with. Now I know, we as human beings plow the field. We as human beings plant the seed. But who brought the rain? And who made the soil? And who caused the wind to blow the clouds across the sky? And who sets the sun on its course so we have morning and evening of every day? That early evening in June, at the wedding of Charity and Steve, we were standing in God's feet. All right? That's the spirit of Thanksgiving. That's what it means to be thankful. The writer of Deuteronomy knows full well how essential it is that we remain thankful. Because when we lose it, we lose the connections between one another. And we lose the connections with God. The greatest sin that we have, which the confirmations are learning all about, the greatest sin that we have is that we tend to think we are God, and we don't need God anymore. We can be God all by ourselves. We commit this sin all the time. That's why it's the greatest of sins, because it's with us forever. We start taking credit for the stuff that we do. We think we're pretty hot stuff, so we take credit for it. And that's a bad thing, because it breaks the connections we have with other people. And then when things go really, really badly, we have nowhere to turn, because it's all dependent on us. So where can we turn? The writer of Deuteronomy warns the people of this. Don't ever say that it is your power that has given you all that you have, and it is the might of your hand that has provided everything, and that the wealth you have earned yourself. Because when you do so, there's a two-edged sword that comes into play. First of all, that first edge of sword separates you from everyone else, because you Then the second part of that, when you go, when things are not going right, when you're losing everything, when your strength is gone, you've forgotten the second part of it. The second part is God is always with you. It's God's strength that will carry you through. So when you start thinking you can do it all, when you lose the connections, when you're not thankful anymore, you lose all of them. Jesus healed 10 lepers of their physical illness. Only one came back with a thankful heart. And to that one, Jesus said, it's your faith that made you well. Right? I healed the disease, but your faith made you totally well in heart, mind, and body. To all the others, Jesus simply asked, where are they? Why didn't they come back? They are not totally, completely healed yet. They needed to have come back. On this Thanksgiving, take the time to truly be thankful. I think it's cool that as a country, we take the time to be thankful. I know a lot of people go to a long litany of things they're thankful for at Thanksgiving time. They pray that they give thanks for the turkey for giving its life, so the day we have life. They thank the farmer who planted the potatoes for the good potatoes. They thank the bakers for baking the bread and the muffins. They thank the truck drivers for bringing the food to the stores. They thank the merchants for stocking the store shelves. They thank family and friends who have gathered around their table on this Thanksgiving. And then they begin to give thanks for all the Thanksgivings that have gone on in the past. And thank God for all those who are no longer at the table. Along with all this great Thanksgiving, there is this constant desire that God wants us to be truly thankful so we can always see the connections. If we have a lot, then we need to be thankful and mindful of those who have little and realize that we are connected with those. So, we bring food for the food pantry. It's a part of our Thanksgiving. And to be truly thankful is when we have little, to also thank God for those who provide us with something that they have of their abundance. To be thankful is to know that we're never alone ever in this thing called life. That God is always with us in every way that matters. That we are always connected with one another and always connected with God. God creates us to live within community. To the one who came to Jesus with a thankful heart, Jesus said this, it is your faith that made you well. Okay? Very important. May that be so with us as well. Amen.